$43 million for a shiny stainless steel rabbit, a sculpture that looks like it could hop right off its pedestal, and that very price tag just made one billionaire's tax bill vanish. If you've ever stood in a gallery staring at what looks like a blank canvas selling for 9 figures and thought, I must be missing something, you're not crazy. You're just seeing the world as it is, while the ultra-wealthy are playing a very different game. They're not just buying art, they're buying a perfectly legal erase button for the taxes the rest of us have to pay. Today, we're pulling back the velvet rope to walk you through the museum loophole, the most sophisticated heist in the history of economics. Once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. The problem in plain English: for most of us, taxes are a certainty. You earn $1, the government takes its slice. But for the top 0.01%, taxes often seem optional, provided they hang something pretty on a wall first. Here's how the magic trick begins. The IRS allows you to donate art to a non-profit museum and deduct its current fair market value, not what you originally paid for it. Imagine you bought a painting for a modest $1 million. 5 years later, a friendly appraiser deems it's worth $5 million. That $4 million gap is where the magic lives. You buy low, get it appraised high, donate it, and the federal government ends up subsidizing your art collection. It's a win-win if you happen to be the one winning. Let me give you a 5-minute history of how we got here. To understand this, we need to go back to 1969, when Congress tightened the rules on cash donations to charity. But art, bless its abstract heart, slipped through the cracks. Lawmakers assumed museums would police valuations and donors would act honorably. Spoiler alert, they didn't. By the 1980s, the art market exploded, becoming a high-stakes investment playground. Billionaires realized a canvas could out-earn a factory, tax-free. This sparked the proliferation of private museums, often intimate spaces bearing the donor's name in 10-foot letters. The genius is that they qualify as tax-exempt 501c3 organizations, while the founder retains almost absolute control, dictating hours and appointing family to the board. They are, in essence, legally public, but practically private. I will now use Bob's story on how to turn 1 million into 5 million without selling anything. Let's imagine Bob, a retired hedge fund wizard. He buys a Jean-Michel Basquiat sketch for $1 million and sends it to a Freeport, an ultra-secure tax-exempt bunker for art. 5 years pass. The market for Basquiat is red hot. Bob doesn't want to sell and trigger capital gains taxes. Instead, he hires a respected appraiser who declares the sketch is now worth a staggering $5 million. Next, Bob donates the work to his own museum, the Robert T. Family Foundation for the Decorative Arts, which is open by appointment on Tuesdays in July. Under IRS rules, he gets to deduct the full $5 million from his income. In the highest tax bracket, that's a $1.85 million savings on his tax bill. Let's do the math. Bob paid $1 million for the art. He saved $1.85 million in taxes. He's now $850,000 ahead, and he still effectively controls the art. The cost to the U.S. Treasury, however, is a very real $1.85 million. So how does art leap in value so dramatically? The answer lies in the 3-card Monty of appraisals, where comparables are whatever the last record-shattering auction says they are. Auction houses are master market makers. They guarantee minimum prices and trumpet record-breaking results, creating a feedback loop that encourages higher bids and sets new, inflated benchmarks for appraisers. Museums also have a vested interest in high valuations, as it encourages more donations and inflates their endowments. The missing piece? Independent oversight. The IRS's Art Advisory Panel reviews only a tiny fraction of donations. Even when they flag an overvaluation, the penalty is usually just a slap on the wrist. The incentive is to shoot for the moon with your appraisal. If you get caught, you apologize and pay a little interest. Is this a case of private museums leading to public losses? There are roughly 1,300 private museums in the US, and over a third of them were founded after 2005. Many of these institutions are built on a simple premise: establish a tax-exempt private operating foundation, which then oversees the art collection. In return for the tax break,